Tonight, concerns over home care.
I see the same systemic failures being repeated.
A widower says the system failed his partner, why he's now worried it could happen again to someone else. Also tonight, fires in the north, tornadoes in the south.
First we saw a wispy little tornado, then I saw another wispy tornado come down.
A look at some of the extreme weather across the province. Plus,
I'm John Hendricks working on a little bit of tango music here at the Argentina Tango Pavilion. I'll take you behind the scenes coming up on CTV News.
people across our province and beyond are staring down black skies and potentially inclement weather tonight. This video was shot just a short time ago in Amber Trails. Tornado watches and warnings have been popping up all across our province over the past couple hours. Let's bring in CTV's Colleen Brady now to break it all down for us. Colleen, what is the latest?
Well, at this point, there are no tornado warnings in Manitoba. However, they have now shifted into northwestern Ontario. So I want to zoom in. I want to show you here. We have this line of storms that moved through the Winnipeg area. Now, Winnipeg was never under a tornado warning. The city, though, is under a severe thunderstorm watch tonight. But this tornado warned storm was passing to the north and to the east of Winnipeg. But as I mentioned, tornado warnings now in effect for the Kenora and Dryden areas. Here's a look at these storms on radar. Now, this storm that could be producing a tornado is, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, is near Segis Lake, and I will have the details on that coming up. But this storm could be producing a tornado right now. More details on that. And the rest of this severe weather, it is passing through our communities this hour and what's ahead for the rest of the night and for the days ahead. Let's take a look right now first through the Bathfitter Live Eye. No, we're going to take a look at that a little later on. But again, we'll have the latest, Marilee, on these tornado-warned storms as they continue to move across Manitoba and now northwestern Ontario in the hours ahead. All right, we'll check back in with you in a little bit, Colleen. Changes to home care services in Winnipeg were meant to improve client care. But tonight, Manitoba's Nurses Union says it's done just the opposite, creating a mess for both clients and nurses. Standing by with the details for us is CTV's Danton Unger. So, Danton, what exactly was changed and why?
Well, the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says it implemented a new centralized system for scheduling home care visits earlier this year to ensure clients aren't left without care. It comes in response to the 2023 death of a woman who waited weeks for home care that never showed. Ever since, her partner has been pushing for changes, but now he fears the same mistakes are being repeated.
Eric DeShepper is still waiting for improvements to the home care system in Winnipeg, a system he says failed the love of his life.
I see the same systemic failures being repeated.
In February 2023, his partner Catherine Ellis died while battling stage 4 cancer. She had been waiting weeks for home care that only arrived days after her death. A 2023 review of her case found breakdowns in communication, policy, and procedure and highlighted gaps in the system that led to delays. Since then, DeShepper has been advocating for improvements, but so far, he says, little has been done.
What I would like to see, personally, is a collective and collaborative effort to resolve these systemic issues that have been plaguing the home and healthcare system for over a decade.
The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority tells CTV News earlier this year it implemented a key recommendation from the review, centralizing home care scheduling into one office. It says this changes to better align with the 24/7 operation of services and ensure continuity of care for clients. But the Manitoba Nurses Union says it's caused chaos.
We are in a mess. Clients are not receiving care. Families are upset, clients are upset, nurses are upset, and we need to get this sorted.
Union President Darlene Jackson says the change was made without consultation with frontline workers and is leading to a breakdown in communication between schedulers, home care workers, and clients.
We're seeing a lot of clients that are having, visits dropped, or there's no shows and they have no idea why.
In a statement to CTV News, the WRHA says while the implementation of the new scheduling system has faced some challenges, we are fully committed to improving the program and delivering the care that clients and their families, as well as staff, deserve. But for DeShepper, disappointed with the current system, he's written a letter to Manitoba's Health Minister, Yzoma Azaguara, urging them to take action.
I hope that this time my plea will be taken seriously.
In a statement to CTV News, Minister Azaguara confirmed they received DeShepper's letter and are grateful for his feedback, adding further, "We take Mr. DeShepper's concerns seriously and are committed to continuing to listen to his and other patients' insights, as well as other feedback from frontline home care aides, nurses, and office staff as we work to strengthen our healthcare system."
Danton, is the WRHA making any changes to the home care system given all of this pushback?
Well, a WRHA spokesperson said 32 new scheduling clerks have been brought on, along with more staff and management resources. They added the health authority is reviewing and updating processes and procedures that aren't working for staff and clients, and are using overtime and agency staff to cover visits where required.
All right, thanks for this, Danton. Fire crews in northern Manitoba are keeping a close eye on the skies. The town of Snow Lake shared this photo on social media of a pyrocumulus cloud overtopped nearby wildfires yesterday. These clouds, which are known to develop sometimes over intense fire activity, can create their own weather patterns, producing lightning and alter wind direction, potentially trapping firefighters. The town says 2 such clouds developed Tuesday but collapsed before posing any major problems. The town noted the weather forecast for the next few days looks promising, with a high chance of precipitation in the coming days. A Winnipeg family is making a big contribution to support thousands of northern Manitoba wildfire evacuees. The Asper Foundation is making a donation to MKO of $25,000 per week. MKO is helping to collect and distribute aid to the more than 19,000 evacuees registered with the Canadian Red Cross. 3,000 more evacuees are expected in Winnipeg in the coming days. MKO says many people were forced to leave with no time to prepare, arriving without baby supplies, hygiene products, or even proper clothing. So today's announcement from the Asper Foundation is welcome news. MKO hopes the donation will inspire others to follow suit. There's an urgent need for non-perishable food items, baby formula, diapers, strollers and carriers, new underclothing and hygiene products, along with blankets, toys and entertainment for children. Donation can be coordinated through MKO and its partner organizations. A Michigan congressman is calling on Canadian leaders to do more to address wildfire smoke blowing southwards into his state. Representative John James, a Republican from Michigan, recently wrote to Prime Minister Mark Carney asking leaders in our country to take action to contain the wildfire crisis. Representative James specifically cited the smoke from Manitoba's wildfires, saying it's threatening the health of his constituents and millions of other Americans. He added Canadian sovereignty comes with responsibility and said, quote, Canadians should not be surprised if American leaders begin treating Canadian sovereignty concerns with the same seriousness Canadian leaders show towards American security and health concerns. Now, in response, our premier accused Representative James of attention seeking.
Who can't get any attention on his own, so he's got to go in public and throw a timber tantrum, as we're calling it around here. So on the one hand, try not to take it too seriously, but on the other hand, you know, let's be realistic. Tens of thousands of people have been forced out of their homes. Lives have been lost, huge impacts here. This is not the kind of thing you should be playing around with.
CTV News has contacted Representative James's office for a response. We're still waiting to hear back. Environment and Climate Change Canada is investigating reports of a tornado in southwest Manitoba last night. The department confirmed today it received a report of a likely tornado near Bellevue, which is located about 30 kilometers south of Virden. Amateur storm chaser Corey Penner took this photo, saying he saw the tornado touch down. He adds it only touched down for a couple of seconds and there was likely little damage. Penner found himself in the storm while returning from chasing another storm in Saskatchewan.
It was tough to get to because the roads were really wet and muddy, but we got there. First we saw a wispy little tornado, then I saw another wispy tornado come down, very brief, and then we stopped, set up the real camera, and then that's where we got that nice thick tornado, which only lasted a couple seconds, and then it was done.
Environment Canada says so far there are no reports of any damage. Anyone who has photos or knows of any damage, though, is asked to reach out. All right, severe weather has been triggering tornado warnings on and off over the last couple of hours. CTV weather specialist Colleen Brady back now with an update. I know a lot of people here in Winnipeg received those alerts.
Yes.
Was there ever a tornado warning for the city?
No, not right in the city itself, but the neighboring communities to the north and to the northeast and eventually to the east of Winnipeg were under tornado warnings as this tornado warned storm moved along. Winnipeg, though, is under a severe thunderstorm watch. So here's a look at these storms right now. Now, they're traveling pretty quickly at about 30 kilometers an hour to the east. Now, I mentioned just a few minutes ago that the Kenora and Dryden regions in northwestern Ontario were under a tornado warning. That tornado warning has now ended, but we still have very much an awful lot of severe weather to contend with as these storms continue to move through. There is a trough of low pressure that's responsible for all of this, triggering all these severe and non-severe thunderstorms. We have a severe thunderstorm right now to the southeast of Winnipeg, around the Hanover area, and also to the northwest there, close to Portage La Prairie, and then next door in northwestern Ontario. No tornado warning at this time, but there are severe thunderstorms that continue to move through those areas. And whether there's a tornado warning in effect or not, severe thunderstorms always have the potential to produce tornadoes. So this is not over yet by any stretch. But we'll have a look at this as this continues to evolve, and other warnings that are in effect, like air quality, and when we could see smoke return to Winnipeg. That could be quite soon as well. Let's take a look right now, though, first through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, it's cloudy. Now, no tornado warnings issued tonight for Winnipeg, but we did have a couple thunderstorms that moved through over the course of the day. For the time being, it's dry, 23, light winds out of the east-southeast. The pressure's dropping, and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 84%.
Thanks, Colleen. Mounties have identified a suspect in a fatal shooting in western Manitoba last week and are asking for your help tracking him down. 52-year-old Frank Laforge is wanted on charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder. He's described as 5 feet 8 inches tall and approximately 150 pounds with a bald head. He's believed to be in the Yellowhead area of Manitoba, but also has connections to the Kamsack and Yorkton areas of Saskatchewan. If you see him, you're asked to call 911. This comes after 2 people were shot at a home on a First Nation southwest of Wasagaming, July 28th. A 33-year-old woman was killed and a 26-year-old man was injured. He has since been released from hospital. The Manitoba Métis Federation is turning down the Prime Minister's invitation to discuss his controversial major projects legislation known as Bill C-5. The MMF says it won't attend the meeting alongside another Métis group it claims has no reason to exist.
Respect my government as you're asking me to respect yours. Trust my government as you're asking me to trust yours.
MMF President David Chartrand says Mark Carney's decision to invite the Métis Nation of Ontario to Thursday's meeting undermines the integrity of the gathering. Other Métis groups and First Nations say the communities represented by the MNO have no claim to Métis heritage.
To the Prime Minister, the door is open. If you want to come and sit down with my cabinet and a government-to-government relationship, we will meet. But if you want to insult us, then we'll see each other in a different political realm in the future.
The MNO has defended itself in the past, saying Métis don't exist only in the Red River region. For his part, Chartrand says he does support Bill C-5, describing it as a way to counter the economic threats posed by the United States. Well, get ready to kick up your heels as you tango your way across some of the most vibrant landscapes of South America. All thanks, of course, to Winnipeg's Folklorama, and CTV's John Hendricks is standing by at the Argentinian Pavilion tonight. John, how are things going over there?
It's going fantastic, Marilee. Now, in the last hour, I was in the kitchen, got a few empanadas, and both myself and my camera guy, Glenn, can attest they are delicious. So definitely recommend that when you are here at this pavilion. But of course, one of the other things that you will definitely want to do is listen to the amazing music that they have. In fact, you can hear it going on right now. I'm joined now by Aldo Mercado. He is a member of the band that is playing right now. And I'm not going to attempt the name in Argentina, but you can tell me it's Roots, right?
Roots. If you translate it to English, you mean roots. But it's Raíces. Grupo Raíces.
Tell me a little bit about this amazing music that you guys play.
Well, this is we call our folk traditional Argentinian music. We grow up listening to this.
So you're from Argentina, right? But now living in Toronto.
Yes, we live in Toronto. We immigrated here like 38 years ago, and we meet each other here.
Oh, you're kidding me?
Yeah, yes.
And how did this band then come together?
Well, I guess we meet in different shows. I saw a show, someone was from Argentina was singing, I went to see it, and one of those guys, and vice versa. They show up, and in one show where I was singing, and little by little, we meet each other, and we decide to try.
I mean, in some ways, you're reclaiming and keeping, your traditional music from your home country, but you also, at Folklorama, get an opportunity to share it with Winnipeggers. How does that make you feel?
Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing for us. It's a big privilege for us to share our music with people with another culture. It's a big privilege for us.
It sounds amazing, if I may say so.
Thank you. I appreciate your opinion. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, Marilee, this is one of those things that you really should experience, because while it sounds good on TV, it sounds even better live. So I am going to sit down with Aldo here, and we're going to enjoy the performance. And then coming up a little bit later, I'm going to introduce you to some of the famous dancing that this pavilion is named for. And that's coming up in a few minutes.
I can't wait. I bet that music sounds even better with an empanada in your hand.
Hey, I'm going to get one. I've already eaten a bunch, but I'm going to get another one.
Why not? All right, John, we'll check in back with you in a bit. Thanks. Well, before you put new technology to work in the fields or in the barn, you need to test it somewhere, which is where Farm Credit Canada's Innovation Farm Network comes in. And for the first time, it's adding a potato farm to its network right here in Manitoba. CTV photojournalist Jamie Dowsett found out more.
That is surface drainage, yes, exactly.
This farm here in Gros Isle, you would find all of the crops that you'd expect here in the prairies. And so, of course, things like canola, wheat, soybeans, oats. We also have peas and corn. And so this is an amazing spot and opportunity for innovators to be able to test their technologies across a full-scale farm, but also across a whole bunch of crop types that they're going to want to know how their technologies perform in.
Soil testing or tissue testing or a combo of the two.
Canadian producers have 40 to 50 crop cycles in their lifetime, and so to expect them to use one of those in service of outcomes they can't guarantee is not realistic.
Going to the soil pit then?
Testing, validating, and showcasing technologies on the farm, on real farmland, so that producers can come see what's working. And
excited about the announcement that Farm Credit Canada made to expand our Innovation Farms operation here in Manitoba to a potato farm in McGregor, Manitoba. Potatoes are a significant crop here in Manitoba, high value as they get turned into French fries, but also because they're irrigated, we didn't have the ability to test technologies related to potato production here at this site. How the technologies performed on a farm that looked kind of like their own. We have found that that's helpful for the innovators to see how their technologies perform on an actual farm, and we share that data back to them, but also to farmers who are then able to see what it looks like for them without having to try it first themselves. And so in that way, Innovation Farms de-risks the adoption of new technologies for farmers here in Manitoba.
Still ahead, collective bargaining at Air Canada gets ready to take off with renewed urgency.
We're not paid anytime the aircraft is not in motion. So any of the pre-flight checks, mandatory safety briefings.
What's at stake after thousands of flight attendants vote overwhelmingly in favor of a strike mandate? We will have that story when we return. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil is down 81 cents. The dollar is up to 72 3/4 cents U.S. Gold lost $1. The TSX added 350 points. The Dow Jones gained 81 points, while the Nasdaq closed 252 points higher. The Prime Minister was back in Ottawa today strategizing next steps in the trade war with the U.S. Mark Carney met with his cabinet and virtually with premiers as two top cabinet ministers are still in Mexico, resetting Canada's trade relationship with America's southern neighbor. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more from Ottawa.
Prime Minister Carney, which counter-tariffs?
The Prime Minister was tight-lipped a day after saying he'd consider removing some counter-tariffs on American goods if it would help Canadian industries. While saying he supports Mark Carney, Ontario Premier Doug Ford has a different take.
You can't have tariffs on one side and not the other. I still stand by what I say. Dollar for dollar, tariff for tariff. They understand strength, not weakness.
He was planning to deliver that message this afternoon as the premiers held a virtual meeting with the Prime Minister. Once it ended, Ford's message to Canadians is to buckle up for a rough road ahead.
I'm praying that everything's going to go fine. But if it doesn't, I got to ask the people, do you trust President Trump? I don't.
In recent days, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe has called for Canada to remove or reduce counter-tariffs on all American goods. Some feel like the countrywide resolve is being tested.
As this has dragged on with no obvious resolution in sight, some of that determination is flagging a bit.
In an interview with CTV News on Tuesday, the U.S. ambassador to Canada cautioned that trade talks could be slow over the next weeks as U.S. President Donald Trump focuses on a deal with China. And that's why some trade experts believe Canada should refrain from retaliating.
I do think we have to hold something like a retaliation as a threat in case Trump does decide to hit us with something else.
And one example of that unpredictability, President Trump announced an additional 25% tariffs on goods from India because that country is importing Russian oil. India's tariff rate could rise to 50%. Mike Lecoulteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Significant turbulence looms ahead for thousands of Air Canada passengers if it can't negotiate a new contract with its flight attendants in 10 days. The union representing 10,000 flight attendants says it has an overwhelming strike mandate from its members. CTV's Judy Trinh takes a closer look at the issues which have festered for a decade.
Mike Abraham has booked a flight to Slovenia for a bike tour. He's scheduled to take off just as Air Canada's flight attendants are poised to strike.
Even if I was to actually try to rebook it now with either with Air Canada or with a competitor, say a European airline, the price would be at least 3 times as much.
Air Canada's 10-year contract with its 10,000 flight attendants is expiring. The union representing the workers says better wages and working conditions are needed. Flight attendants average 35 hours of unpaid work each month.
We're not paid anytime the aircraft is not in motion. So any of the pre-flight checks, mandatory safety briefings, all the required stuff that is done on the ground prior to pushback, as well as the deplaning process.
The workers are getting support from the Conservatives, urging the government to amend the labor code to ensure flight attendants are paid for every minute they're required to be at work from check-in to sign-off. Last year, Air Canada generated operating revenues of more than $22 billion. Thousands of passengers could be impacted if a deal is not reached by August 16th.
This will be a test for the Carney government to see whether they have the intestinal fortitude to let labor relations work its way through this process.
Even though Abraham has been planning his trip for months, he doesn't support government intervention, but does support fair wages for workers.
Being paid for your hours on the job, that I think is a no-brainer. I can't possibly understand why a company wouldn't do that.
In a previous statement, Air Canada said it was committed to reaching a fair and equitable contract with its flight attendants. Both sides returned to the bargaining table on Friday. Judy Trinh, CTV News, Ottawa.
South of the border now, where U.S. President Trump has been briefed on a frightening incident at a key Army base in Georgia. It's now under control, but for several hours, Fort Stewart was under attack from an active shooter. The man is now in custody, but not before 5 soldiers were injured. Rena Roy reports.
Emergency responders racing to Fort Stewart today after reports of gunfire.
They have an active shooter on Fort Stewart.
The Army base, about an hour away from Savannah, Georgia, put on lockdown after authorities say 5 soldiers were shot. The commander telling people to stay inside and lock their windows and doors.
And it's such a big, large base with a lot of people, a lot of moving parts here. A lot of people live there.
The victims treated on site before being rushed to hospitals. A U.S. official saying the suspect, who's a male U.S. Army sergeant, is in custody. The Army telling ABC News the active shooting incident unfolded in the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area just before 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The FBI says it's assisting in the investigation.
All weapons on military bases are housed at armories and locked up, only used during training and then returned to the armories. Yes, personal firearms are allowed, but they have to be registered.
Authorities now looking into a potential motive.
The White House says President Trump has been briefed on this incident, and Governor Brian Kemp has released a statement saying that he is keeping the victims and their families in his prayers. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Today marks the 80th anniversary of the day an atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. The city held a minute of silence to mark the anniversary. The United States dropped the first of 2 nuclear bombs on August 6, 1945. 3 days later, the second bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. More than 200,000 people were killed. Police in Brazil have seized more than $15 million in gold bars. More than 100 gold bars were found hidden inside a pickup truck. It's said to be the largest seizure ever made by the country's highway police. The driver was traveling with his wife and baby and was arrested. Police believe the gold was destined for Venezuela or Guyana.
So what do you think of the pavilion so far? He's speechless, and who could blame him? This is a pretty amazing pavilion, and we'll have much more coming up right after this.
How do you follow that? Showers, possibly thunderstorms, return on Friday up to 24 degrees. Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud. There's a low chance of showers with the risk of a thunderstorm. 24 that day, 23 degrees on Sunday, mix of sun and cloud. The chance of showers starts to creep back in on Monday, but it's still a low chance. Otherwise, a mix of sun and cloud. And again, a high right around 23, warming back up to 26 Tuesday under a mix of sun and cloud. Well, you won't need to pack your bags for your next trip down south. Folklorama is now in full swing, and we are going to check in once again with CTV's John Hendricks, who is down at the Argentina Pavilion. John, sounds like the excitement's starting to pick up down there.
The excitement and the feat. They're doing what is this pavilion is best known for. It is, of course, the tango. I'm joined now by Ricardo, one of the pavilion coordinators here, who can tell us a little bit more about this most famous dance that is known really around the world, isn't it, Ricardo?
It is really famous around the world. The name of the group is Dance Partner Company. They were all over the world. 2 of them were recently in Antarctica over cruise. We just flew 2 of them from Japan. Actually, they have to come back to Japan as soon as Folklorama finishes because they are on the road over there.
Let's talk a little bit about the tango, because it's one of those dances that, first of all, it's amazing to watch, but I imagine it's a little bit more complicated to do.
It is, and you will see it's like playing a whole atmosphere, because you can see how go from sadness to extremely happiness in a blink of an eye. It's the way in which tango is. So usually tango is a song that it's very much showing feelings mostly.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's known as being a bit of a sensual dance.
It is. It is. That's the idea.
Let's talk a little bit about how long it takes to learn something like this. This isn't the kind of thing that just one day you wake up and you decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to do a tango.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of time. I'm usually joking with them because I think that they learn how to dance before they walk. It's really like that. But to give you an idea, this show has been taken 8 months to put it together. Many videos, many clips coming back and forth and trying things. Everything was like that.
When you have like a performance like this, right? Obviously, the crowds here at Folklorama, they obviously just love it.
Absolutely, they do. They really come with a lot of joy, and to me it's so rewarding when I come outside and I hear how happy people are getting out of the pavilion, and that's to me is all the reward I'm looking for.
And that's the thing, that's what it's all about, is getting the performances like this, getting the crowd, of course, lovely, entertained. When they see people like this on stage, they just can't help but be excited and happy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And that really moves me. I think that after that, all the volunteer hours that we put together for doing this, they all worth it.
It's all worth it. So, Marilee, I am going to study this very carefully. This isn't the kind of thing you want to take your eye off of, so I'm going to send it back to you as I continue to watch this incredible dance.
Incredible it is. All right, thanks, John. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are off to Calgary for the weekend, hoping for a second win in a row after a bit of a losing skid. And the team will take the field with its starting quarterback, Zach Collaros.
Collaros looking to throw again. Far side intercepted. It's taken away by Moncrief.
The Bombers have had some tough luck against the Stampeders this year. They've lost to Calgary twice already. The Stamps are third in the CFL's West Division. Winnipeg is fourth. After missing a game, Calgary's #1 quarterback, Vernon Adams Jr., will be taking the field. And Bombers head coach Mike O'Shea says Adams is a tough guy to put pressure on.
Vernon's probably more elusive, more athletic, right? He is certainly looking to make plays downfield also, like most good quarterbacks are. But he just seems to, his escapability is top-notch. His understanding of where the defenders are coming from and how to elude them and keep the ball moving downfield is elite.
Gets over.
Saturday's kickoff in Calgary is set for 6 o'clock.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady back now with more on this severe weather moving across the province. And we are getting more dramatic pictures and video coming in from viewers of what looks like some pretty potentially dangerous weather, Colleen.
Certainly. Let's take a look at this viewer video. This was over Dugald or close to just after 5:30 this afternoon. Now, it looks like certainly you can tell this is a funnel. No confirmation from Environment Canada of any touchdowns anywhere, including where you're seeing that funnel passing over the Dugald area now. But my goodness, if you look up in the skies and you see that, certainly very daunting weather indeed. Now, at this point, there are no tornado warnings in effect anywhere in Manitoba or in northwestern Ontario, but these severe warned systems, or storms rather, continue to push off to the east. So I want to show you this. Now, many areas, including the city of Winnipeg, lighting up in yellow under a severe thunderstorm watch. That means that conditions exist so that thunderstorms that do develop could become severe. That's not happening at this point. Where it is happening is where that yellow turns to red. We have a storm right here that's passing over Le Broquerie right now. We have another area where we have a severe thunderstorm passing to the northwest of Winnipeg. But I want to show you that storm moving over Le Broquerie. Again, these storms moving east at about 30 kilometers an hour, pushing further to Ontario there. But again, this storm sitting right over Le Broquerie right now and continuing to push further off into Manitoba and into Ontario is where these storms are headed. We're already seeing those storms firing off in northwestern Ontario, but some improvement here as well. Those severe thunderstorm warnings have now been downgraded to severe thunderstorm watches. And again, that means conditions exist such that thunderstorms that do develop or already are in progress could become severe. So certainly no end in sight at this point to the severe weather. It will be a little later on this evening, but for the time being, continue to be vigilant if you are in those areas. As for those air quality alerts, well, those air quality warnings continue tonight for eastern Manitoba, all of the north, and then again east back into northwestern Ontario. And there's a pretty good chance that we'll see some of that smoke return to southern Manitoba tomorrow, including to the city of Winnipeg. So it's not just the southeast and northwestern Ontario contending with showers and thunderstorms tonight. All across Manitoba, Manitoba. We have this trough of low pressure that's been triggering these thunderstorms across the province. Overnight, you can see the threat of storms certainly subsides here in the south. In fact, we clear out. Some scattered showers continue in parts of the north and in central regions and into Thursday as well, before we'll start to see the next round of rain advance on the southwest later on tomorrow afternoon. And then we get rain returning across the south by Friday, including through Winnipeg, and pushing up further into central and also into southern parts of northern Manitoba. For tonight, we still have that risk of severe thunderstorms for Winnipeg. 17 is our low, 24 tomorrow. Mostly sunny, but some smoke is expected. Quick swing around the province tonight. Good chance of showers or thunderstorms across the northeast. Thompson down to 15 there. Cloudy in Thompson tomorrow, 23 degrees. Churchill just 15 for your high tomorrow. Again, a strong chance of showers or thunderstorms for much of the northwest tonight. Overnight lows between 13 and 17 degrees. Cloudy with smoke as well across the region. Norway House, some showers there, 23 degrees. Flin Flon and the Paw up to about 25. Clearing tonight through Brandon and Neepawa down to 14. Still, though, the strongest chance of showers or thunderstorms is around Dauphin and Swan River tonight. Smoky and Swan River tomorrow, 27 there. Good chance you'll see some showers, maybe even thunderstorms by late tomorrow afternoon into Dauphin, Neepawa, down into Brandon. Winnipeg in the southeast, strongest chance of showers is still to the east of the city, where those storms are headed for you right now. Winnipeg down to 17 degrees. Tomorrow, sunshine for the city, but likely smoke up to 29 outside the city. Similar temperatures under a mix of sun and cloud. Northwestern Ontario, more showers and thunderstorms ahead for you tonight, down to 18 degrees. Mix of sun and cloud or cloudy skies tomorrow with hot highs in the upper 20s. To our weather photos we go. This is a look out at the cloudy skies over Lake Winnipeg. That photo is from Andrew. And this next one, a beautiful double rainbow for the golfers out there. This is at the golf course out in Inwood, Manitoba. That photo is from Sean. Email us yours to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Canada Post has once again reached a stalemate with its workers after unionized employees rejected the corporation's final offer. So, are we headed for another mail strike? Adam King, an assistant professor in the Labor Studies program at the U of M, joins me now to discuss. Adam, good to speak with you.
Nice to be with you.
First, I'm curious to get your take on this. How likely is it we could see another postal strike?
Well, it's not an impossibility, but I don't think it's likely. This forced ratification vote produced a result that was 70% or roughly 70% rejecting, which is not overwhelming. It's a strong rejection, but it's not overwhelming. And, you know, after so many months of negotiations and a previous strike of 5 weeks, members are likely pretty exhausted at this point. So to organize another strike, I think, would be a very tall order at this stage.
These negotiations, as you alluded to, have been going on for more than a year. What are the next steps now following this vote rejection?
Well, the next steps really are getting back to the bargaining table. The union is returning with a rejection vote, which was entirely predictable. These types of forced ratification votes, they rarely produce an acceptance because the union had recommended to their members to vote against this. It hadn't recommended this agreement. It was really the government stepping in and once again kind of interfering in the negotiation process. So at this point, I think the most likely outcome is getting back to the table, and we'll see where the parties are when they arrive back there. The union has called for the government to sort of take its hands off, stop with the various interventions, and really get back to the bargaining process.
So the final offer really will likely not be the final offer.
No, it won't be, and it rarely is. When employers say that it's a final offer, I mean, it's really just a way to try and get members to accept what's on the table at that stage. I think the union and probably most members knew that that wasn't the final offer, and if they rejected it, they would likely just go back to the table.
All right, we know the Postal Service is struggling financially, and strike uncertainty likely leading many customers to turn to competitors. Can Canada Post survive this uncertainty for a prolonged period of time? I mean, how dangerous is this tug of war between the union and Canada Post?
Well, it's certainly been trying, and I'm sure there are many customers who have turned to alternative private couriers and other private providers. But the thing about Canada Post is that it's a crown corporation with a universal service mandate to serve all Canadians no matter where they live. And for many people in rural areas and other parts of the country, Canada Post remains a vital service. And so I think there's no question that Canada Post persists. It's really a question of what form that takes and how they resolve these various financial impasses. And, from the union's perspective, they've been clear all along that they don't want to see that done on the backs of workers, through the increase of part-time work and various other concessions. So I think it's a question of rethinking the business model, but in a way that that doesn't sacrifice workers' living standards in the process.
Well, Adam, I want to thank you for weighing in on this today. It was great to get your thoughts on it.
Thank you.
Nine people are in hospital with salmonella after eating various brands of pistachios and Dubai chocolate. Canada's Public Health Agency has issued a recall on a number of products distributed in Ontario and Quebec under the brand names Habibi, Al Mokhtar Food Centre, and Dubai. The products were sold both online and in Quebec. In total, Health Canada says it's aware of 52 cases of the illness caused by the affected products across the country. 1 here in Manitoba, 2 in British Columbia, 9 in Ontario, and 39 in Quebec. A new study confirms verbal abuse during childhood has a similar impact as physical abuse. According to the journal BMJ Open, people who experienced physical abuse as a child were at a 50% increased risk of reporting low mental health in adulthood compared to those with no abuse. Those who experienced verbal abuse had a 60% increase in the likelihood of low well-being. Authors also say verbal abuse in U.S. families increased while physical abuse has declined. Verbal abuse includes blaming, insulting, criticizing, or threatening children.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
Marvel fans, stick around. You will want to hear about some just announced guests appearing at this year's Comic-Con. Plus, time for some new ink. The Winnipeg Tattoo Convention is right around the corner. All the details next in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Holly Cole.
When you take off on a trip around the world, you should expect world-class entertainment. The British Isles Pavilion at Folklorama is on all week, featuring 2-time Irish Dance World Champion McKinley Hodgins and 2025 World Champ runner-up Katie Olafson. They're just 2 of the many accomplished dancers taking the stage at the pavilion, which is showing off the foods and cultures from a half-dozen countries.
So the British Isles is about 6,000 islands big, but here we are, mainly focusing on just north of Ireland, the Republic of Ireland as well, Scotland, Wales, and England.
The British Isles Pavilion runs all week at the Heather Curling Club on Youville Street. A couple of more big names have been added to the Comic-Con celebrity list.
I'm still not sure what I am. I'm just living my life, day to day.
Comic-Con's guest list now includes 2 characters from Marvel's popular Luke Cage series, Mike Coulter, who plays Cage, and Theo Rossi, a.k.a. Shades. Coulter is also known for his big screen roles in $1 Million Baby and Men in Black 3. Coulter and Rossi will join actors Lou Diamond Phillips and Ron Perlman. Comic-Con runs October 24th to the 26th at the RBC Convention Center. For tickets, visit comicconwinnipeg.com. Well, if you're looking for some new ink or you just want to see some talented artists, this could be your weekend. The Winnipeg Tattoo Convention returns to Red River X Park Friday to Sunday. More than 250 tattoo artists will be offering their services and showing off their work all weekend long. You'll also find a market, beer gardens, food trucks, and live music. Head to winnipegtattooconvention.com for tickets and a list of the artists if you'd like to book ahead of time. It's maybe not a miracle, but definitely a milestone.
We all lose our jobs if you can't pull off a miracle.
No pressure, none.
F1 the movie has made $546 million worldwide. That's Apple's top-grossing theatrical release of all time, and Brad Pitt's highest-grossing movie ever. We'll beat those midweek blues with MasterChef at 7, followed by Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service and Battle of the Generations, and wrap up your night with Match Game at 10, all right here on CTV.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is erupting again, and the images are spectacular. We'll have more when we return.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, we've talked to Environment Canada. It's been a very busy hour, as you know. Now, Environment Canada is reporting up to golf ball size hail in the areas around Stonewall. We've had quarter-size hail, many reports of funnel clouds, but no reports of any tornado touchdowns at this point. But we still have several areas under severe thunderstorm watches and warnings, including the city of Winnipeg under a severe thunderstorm watch. So please continue to be vigilant for the next few hours until this threat subsides. Of course, to next door in northwestern Ontario, these thunderstorms are all headed your way as well. So thunderstorms continuing tonight in the southeast and in northwestern Ontario. Air quality warnings continue in the north. We could see some of that smoke move back into southern Manitoba by tomorrow.
Thanks, Colleen. Finally, tonight, some amazing video from a volcano eruption in Hawaii today. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the eruption at Hawaii's Mount Kilauea started early this morning. At one point, 150 to 300 foot high fountains of lava were spewing from the north vent. This is the 30th eruption episode of 2025, with each cycle lasting between 13 hours and 8 days. Located at Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park on Hawaii's Big Island, Kilauea is one of the world's most active volcanoes, intermittently erupting since December of 2024. It doesn't even look real.
No, it doesn't, does it?
When you look at it, yeah, pretty remarkable. All right, some remarkable images coming into us of cloud formations, funnel clouds. Keep your eye on the sky tonight. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect, right?
Watch for Winnipeg, but warnings around La Broquerie and the Steinbach area.
All right, stay safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow.